Now it's we can't help but want to think about springtime, but it's still feeling pretty frosty out there.
It's frosty, definitely dead in the heart of winter right now.
Yeah.
We expect to see some wintry weather possibly by early tomorrow morning, possibly even seeing some, I think, a better chance later on into the evening. Now the timing is going to be the evening commutes, possibly into the first half of the night, where we have the colder air as well as some of that moisture coming together. And up ahead of that point, we're going to have off and on showers here as we go throughout the day. And you can see some of those blue skies that go along with that. Here closer to Puget Sound, Olympics doing their best to kind of wring out the moisture that's out there and keeping us, for the most part, dry into the daytime hours here of our Monday. We're at 44. We have some of those clouds breaking apart, and that wind right now coming in at about 15 miles per hour will pick up a little more into the evening, especially if you're out there along the coast or right here through parts of eastern parts of the northeastern parts of the Olympic Peninsula and heading through Whidbey and Camano Islands. Now temperatures, they're not cold enough for any wintry precipitation as of yet. Sitting in the upper 30s in Olympia, a little cooler there with a quick downpour that just moved on through. But you can definitely tell the moisture staying confined out there to the coast, while areas here closer to parts of Puget Sound, not a lot of active weather yet. But what we're seeing is that eventually our convergence zone is going to start to crank on up. What's going to happen with that is it starts to draw down not only just some colder air from the upper parts of the atmosphere, but maybe even a little energy too to help produce some lightning and thunder here into the evening, possibly even some light hail. As far as the rain right now, if you're driving along Highway 101, maybe even Highway 12, you're going to come into some of these showers, which are going to be maybe moderate to heavy at times. Some more instability farther south across southern Oregon. That's where they have more of the lightning and thunder as of right now, but you will start to see this fill on in, and what we're going to keep an eye on for is when this does fill on in, how much cold air does get drawn down from the upper parts of the atmosphere to help to produce some of that snow here across areas of King, Snohomish County, even maybe extending farther south into parts of Pierce County too, and that will lead up into the mountains where we expect to see some really heavy snowfall from time to time. Advisories for the wind out along the coast and through parts of the eastern Strait of Juan de Fuca, Camano, Whidbey Islands, where we could see some of those gusts closer to about 45 miles per hour. This advisory in effect until midnight tonight. And then down this way, south coast, as a lot of the moisture is going to be heading southward. Here at sea level, we could see some accumulating snowfall and probably the higher opportunity of seeing maybe some of that accumulating snow up to 2 inches there. Now you can see no advisories here closer to Puget Sound. We do have more up across the mountains, North and South Cascades until 10 p.m. later into the night. Additional snows up to about 6 inches, and then here closer to the central Cascades, that includes Stevens and Snoqualmie Pass. This winter storm warning in effect until 11 p.m. tonight. Additional 6 to 17 inches of snow going to be coming down really heavy, and that's going to be dependent upon, here it goes again, that convergence zone that starts to kick up here later into the evening. We'll see that start to wind on up, and after midnight you can see a few last snowflakes now beginning to move on through as that colder air comes in, but that colder air is also helping to push the moisture out of here fairly quickly. We're drying out for tomorrow. We'll see a lot of clear skies, and it's going to be a cold day to go along with the sunshine. Now at the same time, with the colder air coming in and that snow falling, a lot of our temperatures are going to be above freezing. So what that will mean is a lot of your road surfaces, especially if they're actually connected to the ground, not going to see much accumulation on that, if any at all. If we get to some of those accumulations, better chance will be on grassy surfaces and more of those elevated surfaces even tomorrow morning. Not expecting to see any sort of widespread freezing to occur here at the lowlands, as temperatures will be near, if not just slightly above, the freezing point. Temperatures in the low 40s, and we're pretty much quiet at least through Thursday. You can see some of those showers starting to pick up a little more by Friday. Maybe a small chance also on Saturday before seeing better chances on Monday.